Hello everyone and welcome to Don't Be Bored. I am very fortunate that I am part of the large group that votes for the Dice Tower Awards. And I thought, why not go through each category and tell you what I put as number one. Now, I didn't vote in every category. There's a number of categories that I didn't, and that's normally because maybe I've only played one of those games, so it's not really possible for me to rate them, or maybe I just feel like I haven't had enough plays of a number of those games to actually rank them properly. So for me, I don't vote in the category unless I know what I'm going to be definitely putting above the others, that sort of thing. But without further ado, let's see what I picked for the different categories. So for the best welcoming game category, I went with Castle Combo. I've definitely been enjoying this little card game. I like the fact that often when you're choosing a card, there's a couple of things you've got to be keeping in mind. Ooh, this has these shields on it. Have I already got a card that says I get points if I don't have that? Or maybe it's points if I do have that, but it has to be like adjacent or in the row or column. Then there's, well, is it giving me coins to actually be buying more tiles and different things like that? Do I want to spend all my coins on this really expensive card and then not have much choice? Or maybe even have to put a card face down on a future round? I like it. It's got a lot of definite choices to it, but it is also one that, well, it's very welcoming because every card is very obvious how it scores and you get to do these little combos with your castle. So it's a nice, small, quick experience, but you can definitely enjoy it over time as you pick up how to score the different combos and stuff like that. So a good welcoming game, at least from my opinion. I didn't vote in the small publisher or the strategy games categories, just again, the reasons I mentioned earlier. I hadn't sort of played enough of those to rank them properly, but I did vote in the two-player category, something I am a big fan of two-player games because they're very easy for me to get to the table. And number one, well, it had to be Star Wars Unlimited. If you know me on this channel at all, I certainly yap on about this game a lot. I think it's an absolutely fantastic card game, an absolutely fantastic theme, and every set so far I have at least thoroughly enjoyed. I'm still sort of waiting to see what set 5 brings, but Jedi's, Sith and Force users, I think it should be quite fun as well. So very excited for that. Been loving the game. It's certainly taken up a lot of my board gaming time in the last year, so it had to be my pick for best two-player game. The best solo game, I went for Draft and Write Records. I have reviewed this one on the channel, and I'm pretty sure in that review I even mentioned enjoying this one as a solo experience, which for a sort of flip and write, draft and write sort of experience, you go, what? As a solo game? This one really does work. And I'm not the biggest solo gamer, but I liked the puzzle that this one gave you and the sheer number of combos. You're crossing off this section of the board that gives you this combo for this bit of the board. And how many things can you chain together on one turn? Sometimes like 3-4 things from just crossing one thing off, triggering a couple of things that's getting you money for this road, the journey. That it was a lot of fun when I played it as solo, and a lot of fun when I've played it as multiplayer. But well, this was the solo category and I enjoyed it at that, so that is Draft and Write Records. The innovative and the co-op categories, I'd only played one of each from the shortlist, so did not vote in those, but for party game, the one that I put as number one had to be Flip 7. I have now purchased my own copy of this game from UK Games Expo because it's just an absolute blast to play and a real easy one that you can get to the table. Push Your Luck for me has to be pure Push Your Luck, and that is what this game has in spades. I've actually seen one person at one time manage to actually flip 7, getting those bonus points and ending a round. I've only ever seen it done once, but it was spectacular when it did. In this, you are flipping cards over and you can say hit or stay, and if you hit and you have that number already, you're bust. And it's basically first to 200 points over a number of rounds. Absolutely brilliant game. a lot of fun. That's Flip 7, so it was an easy pick for my number 1 in that category. Best new designer, well, that has to go to the person that created Flip 7 for all the reasons I said earlier. Absolutely fantastic game. Best theming, that was a little hard one. There was some cool ones in the shortlist that I ranked 1, 2 and 3, but the one for me, the top one, was Let's Go to Japan. I think what grabbed me about this one is that it's just such a unique theming. The fact that you are actually sort of crafting a itinerary, a holiday sort of itinerary, and it's something that I do. When I'm going to these places, I will go and have a look. Oh, these are all the different things I want to do. Put them on the different days, see what works, have, if we're in that area, that works. And so turn that into a game, the theming of it, just as someone that has planned holidays and different things like that, for friends and stuff, it's weird that it's a theme for a board game, but it works and it's so unique it had to be the best theme. For best reprint, I went for Through the Desert, a great game that I've actually got the old edition of, but I have played the new edition. Yeah, it's a new edition of an old game that works really well. It's a smaller box this time around, which, a lot of reprints these days seem to be trying to go for bigger, better, more expensive, more room on the shelf, and actually with Through the Desert they went from a bigger box to a smaller box, and I think the price did actually drop as well. A great game, and actually reprints not always just going bigger. I think that's a good thing. Best production, I went for Andromeda's Edge. Well, look at the board, it looks stunning, and the minis that are sort of moving around on top. It doesn't necessarily hurt the game that there's that all singing, all dancing, even more glorious GameFound or Kickstarter version. So, it has just pure table presence. But it isn't just artwork, it is also the minis and stuff like that that gives it that table presence. So that's why it's there for production value. And last but not least, Game of the Year. Well, I had to go for a 2-player game because I absolutely adore them, and I went for the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth.
Personally, I think this is the one that's going to be played more often. Not only does it have that great Seven Wonders duel drafting to it, which it works surprisingly well with 2 players if you've never played it, and then it throws in a load of Lord of the Rings theme. It's a stunning production, I really love the vivid colours, and the gameplay ticks every box. And those were my choices for the Dice Tower Awards. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.